Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome to Offbeat. This your host Jack Analog, and today we got a special guest, my guy GU Dollar. Yo, what's good, man? How you doing, brother?
Pleasure to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
I gotta give a shout out and a salute to all my North Carolina brothers. But this is the first, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna give you that. You know what I mean? You the first cat from Carolina to
Okay.
be on the show, man. So I
Sure.
appreciate you representing well with the Charlotte. Know what I'm saying? I love that. You know what I mean?
Yo.
Representing where you from. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that already tell me a lot. You know what I
We on
mean?
a tear right now,
Uh,
too, while we
so
taping
I,
this in history. We on a tear right now.
Ain't no question, man. So uh, get the people a little rundown, man. Who you are. What you doing. What you got going on. You know what I mean? Let them know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, uh, I'm getting into everything, trying to sync and all the stuff that pays producers for, because money is very,
Mm-hmm.
so just learning the business. But before I got into all that, it was just making beats like anybody else. You're a any other musical people, um, like yourself. Just going. I'm gonna right now. I'm just like a thought pattern, like whatever is the thought of succeeding or progressing music or in our and how we
Mm-hmm.
do. I come from the funk era. I don't subscribe to uh I don't it's funny, like I'm hip hop, we are hip hop, we came up hip hop, but my inspiration and what I'm gonna bring to this is from funk. So I'm just bringing the funk, keeping funk alive. That's what my dad did. I'm keeping that sound alive.
Respect.
However, that translates into my culture, which is hip hop. I came up in, I grew up in. That's it. So as long as I progress,
Mm-hmm.
and as of recent, 2025, Exhibit and Royce the 5'9" rapped on one of my dad's records from the 70s. And when
Mm.
12 years old, it was put out. So I'm keeping that tradition. Like I'm literally that. I'm in the band with my dad right now. So and I've been in the band with my dad since came up like 12 years old playing the drum. So
So I can't
that's it.
let you keep saying your dad, you know what I mean?
My dad.
You said your dad. I'm like, who is this person that you say you was
Yeah.
like, who used your music? Who uses music?
My dad, his name is Spencer. But he go by a lot of other names, man. They have like 78 names for bands and all that back in the day. So it'd be like me and Jimmy and John, and then me, Jimmy, John, and Jack, we a whole nother band, and then Jimmy, John, Jack, and Jeff, they got their own thing, and then Jeff and Jack got their own thing with Jimmy brother, and they do, it's so they their band was the one collection that they did was called Mellow Madness. It's Madness is with Z's.
mm.
So Mellow Madness, it's like MELO Madness. And the song that got sampled was the one my dad wrote. It's called Beautiful Day. It was on a 45.
Mm.
Beautiful Day was one side, and the other side was called What You Getting High On. And that was by his best friend, Stanley Graham. And my dad and
Mm.
Stanley Graham, they were big time horn line people in that time, in the funk era. So um my dad
Mm.
got in the military that same year, and we started touring. I was born in Charlotte. He started touring. We left as I was a baby. That record was put out while we was getting out of here, and like last year, it got sampled. It got put in a database from some company in Germany, and they paid him. Then when the record, they gave him exclusive. He got all the exclusives. all the publishing. So when it got sampled, they sent them another check. Mellow Madness, Spencer
Mm,
Mellow Madness is my dad, and I got hit with that name, so my nickname was Gus, and that's how GU Dollar came out. I just took the dollar sign. I just took the sign off because a lot of people was like, if their name is Gus, that's how they did their thing too. With the so I just made it a word and it set myself aside from all them people.
mm,
That's how I got my name, and
crucial.
so that's it. You know, I'm a Charlotte guy. Since the team came along when I was probably like 10, like 11 years old or something like that. So since then, I've
Mm,
Hornets, and then '95 the Panthers came. So that was when I was out of high school. I became a Panthers fan. As soon as the Panthers hit,
mm.
I was a Redskins fan though. Before that, I must admit, so so I rep the teams. I'm just a
I mean,
just Charlotte to the death. And
hey, you
that's what it is.
you kept it in the region, man.
That's
Yeah, I was born in Hawaii, so and then my dad was a San Fran fan, so
what
and I had to grab them. But yeah, but
what
um, I'm still, Carolina, my basketball team, so you know what I mean. I still kind of kept
respect.
that regional, you know what I mean. So
That's still my
I
favorite college team too.
yeah, yeah,
So that's it,
yeah.
man. I'm bringing Charlotte to the forefront
Yo,
as far as the musical side because our history is pretty rich with that. Um, North Carolina as a whole, but like Mark Sparks was from here, and he ended up making like Shoot for Salt and Pepper, and then like later on, I know he did a lot more. He did like uh the song for Grand Puba. I like it like that.
okay.
Like one of the Puba's. That's probably Puba's.
I know. I like it. I know that junk. Yeah.
So Spark. Shout out to Mark Spark, and rest in peace, my brother Dizzy. Dizzy used to do like drum programming and all that for him. So like, don't those are guys that I used to admire, and then end up trying to work with them, but they already was more advanced than me. Like they already was like getting bread and
Right.
moving around the game, going to Cali and all that. So that point in time was like of course I was rapping, and I had a group QC fam, uh Dean and Phil, the twins, they still producing. They just won a Queen City Award. They were making our beats, and the group kind of, we didn't have a motivation after a while together so much so as far as rapping. And a
mm-hmm.
couple of guys I know bought a studio. They had a restaurant I worked for, named Mr. Jim's Pizza. And they got a studio, and they was like, you can rap, so we go get producers and all that. And I was with that. So all my favorite guys, the mighty DR, Dizzy, and Jay Fest. I was trying to get them to make my album, and all of them was, like I said, Dizzy was getting the bread with Mark, and Fest moved to New York at that time to try to get in the game with his
Mm.
beats. And DR was just busy, you know what I'm saying? Like he's already the guy too. He was getting out there too. So I just started making beats on their machine for me to rap to. And then it just became
Hmm.
my first WAP beat. I know it was WAP, but I don't even like it. But the first beat I made, got somebody wanted to buy it, and I was like, wow,
Wow.
uh, dang, maybe I'm all right. You know what I mean? And I learned the machine. Then they didn't want me to like run off and work with anybody else with the machine. So I went through a whole thing of my pop, give me a machine. So he got me the MP. Like I had to, it was a loan, and $1,400 off eBay used MPC 2000 XL. But that's the one they had, and I loved it. So I got one of them,
mm.
programming drums and bass for my dad before he went to the studio. So I cut out some of his studio time, and so from then the MP beats, I got a whole journey with them. I got some sales and I got into that game trying to sell beats. And then, you know, it was like Big Bronze. I did a couple beats for. He had some bread from a author named Omar Tyree, who wrote like black romance novels and crime novels, I guess, like, you know, Tyler Perry-ish type books back then. And he was like funding
Mm.
Bronze. So Bronze was going to New York a lot with him, and they went to Wendy Williams. That's how like gossipy that, you know, that kind of book was. Like he would get the Omar Tyree to Wendy Williams, and then they went to Fest when they was in New York, and Jay Fest had some of my beats on his CD too. And while he was moving around the industry, so they went thinking they're getting beats from him, and he just gave them the same CD. And they on the way back trying to get beats, and they got locked into a beat. They're like, "Yo, we want beat like let's just say it was random, like beat number 56." You know, he's like, "Oh, 56, that
Mm-hmm.
oh, GU Dollar, he right." So then that became a thing. They got me over there. And I just was moving around. Like I felt like my beats had some value, and it was like all sample based, you know. So I did that for years, man. I felt like nobody wanted to hear me rap, and except my friends, and they was like, "Nigga, ain't nobody nice like that." So I had to do that, and I dropped a couple records, repping the crib, and like that kind of put me on the internet. I met a couple people, and the rest is pretty much history. So everything I do is like pushing anybody I knew forward and being progressive on my networking. That's how I would get on the net. So like Joffrey coming to Charlotte made us like come outside. Me and DJ Wiz, one of my favorite people, Wisdom Kenyatta, he was like, he was DJing for their beat sets. And I'm like, beat sets? Like, you know, we used to do stuff like this back in the day, but it wasn't hot. Like it was like
Mm-hmm.
the nerdy producer guy stuff. So it was like, nah, come back out.
Right.
And I came out and they was doing it in a sneaker shop, him and Uncanny Sega on the net. Now, him and Bernie Burns, they doing like beat sets and competitions in the sneaker shop, and it was fly. I'm like, all right. And then they like, hey man, come on out. We want you to battle Wiz. Why I gotta battle niggas? So I didn't even get it. And then they like, nah, come out. It's gonna be a celebration. Like me and Wiz battle. Niggas was like, yo, y'all niggas was tack swinging, and this is fire. Y'all fire. So niggas was like, let's do a they like come Sega said come and battle representing Charlotte against these other cities. Oh, you know, I'm with that shit. I want all that. So I'm like, yeah, I'll play my part. Me and you,
Mm-hmm.
5-on-5. Oh, we gonna kill these niggas. So Josh set that off. It was Josh shit as far as that's what he was doing. But Sega was like, let's go over there and do that. I was with it. And then that blew up to this. And then that's like when Jack was coming around there, like filming that shit. Cause you know how Jack mission is. He like, wherever they dropping beats, I'm there. I'm gonna travel and you know, do that
Yeah.
entrepreneurial.
No question.
He there. So he was filming and we battled DMV and we came up. Then they battled us here and they say come up there. So we came up to DC and battled. Jack was there with his kids. And before the battle started, we had seen him at the sneaker shop and really like linked, you know, anymore. He was like, you know, I'm peeping all y'all coming down. I was like, where I seen your face. And he had his son and daughter with him, chopped it up. That's how we got to
Right.
this point. So Jack and nigga, I got to hear his beats. I didn't even hear his beats because he was just filming the joint that night. And then he ended up coming back down. And one day we was at the shit with Joffrey. He played some beats outside afterwards. I was like, yo, nigga. He's like, yeah, I've been trying to link. I've been trying to play you shit, nigga. Like, what's up? I was like, well, you know, Jack, the energy is up. So he's like, let's do this. So
Yo,
that's how
yeah.
I got linked up with Jack. And I love that man music. And I call you on the net for some reason. And I was like, this nigga turned around and looked at the screen, turned back to the screen. And, and I was like, what? And I'm hearing some funk. I'm like, that man knows funk. I'm with that. That's what I do. Yeah. So that's where
Hey
we at.
man,
So I bring it 360 back home to why I'm here, why me and you talking. You know what I mean?
yo, I appreciate you. Like you know, you made my job pretty easy today, and I appreciate that. You, I, all the question I would normally like lead with, like you just, you know, like you did a full circle. But what I do want to talk about though is, so you say your first joint was your 2000 XL, right?
Yes.
That was your first like sequencer, you know what I'm saying? Sequencer, sampler, whatever, right?
Yes. 2003, I got my first one.
So so now I, you know, cause I, you know, I peeped your, you know, your joint and like I saw you running a joint in Logic.
Hmm.
So Logic, is Logic your current way of producing, or do you hybrid like you know, whatever MP or machine, whatever hardware into Logic?
Yeah.
What's you
You
know, you
got
ain't gotta
this.
give up all the goods, but just what's your process, you know what I mean, in general?
No doubt. My yes. I went from what happened with the Logic is I'm an MP nigga. So I'm like, I
I
wanna
get it.
I wanna do it like this every time, right? And I'm
Mhm.
Cuzzo like, all right, so we gonna record your album and we need to get a little computer with Logic on it to track out. So I'm like, yeah, I can track my stuff out.
Okay.
Boom, and I'm tracking. He coming over the crib in the morning, like he'll get over here. My girl might be in here, so I'm just in the room. He tracking all the stuff we did. Then he might pause from that. I'm listening from the other room, right? And he start going through sounds and making shit. And it's with the quickness, with the little MIDI keys. I'm like, yo,
Mhm.
get the sounds from this sound, and it's triggering me every time I hear something crazy. So I'm like, man, dang, I really could get in here and really make real music with this whole sound set, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sample that, MP, tracked out everything. I just one day played a whole thing and I was like, dog, it's like every piece of the band is in there. And you got all them sounds. I have all those sounds right here. My Logic, you check it out. Like, I'm tripping. So I took like probably I ain't gonna lie, man. I probably had it over here a year doing all that, hearing that, going through that experience. Finally sat down and learned it. I threw breaks in there and just played sounds over it, so I didn't sound. I don't want to sound computery. You know what I'm saying? I hate computery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You jack analog, so you understand.
Yeah. Robotic.
So
Yeah, robotic. Yeah.
I hate it. You know what I mean? So I want these drums to sound right. I'm just
Yeah.
trying and put breaks in there, and then I started hearing the drum sounds and going through them. And I was like, all right, I, I gotta learn this. I got to. Once I got that swing on the computer and figured
There
out
you
I
go.
can see everything I'm doing right there. It's not the MP. I don't have to just hear it. I can
Uh-huh.
already hear it. I got that down from the MP.
Yeah.
So it's like, brother, let's
Uh,
get on this Logic. And Logic showed me so much. And I go to a tutorial now, and I'm doing it in the YouTube era. So you can't tell me I can't learn something. Some nigga out there done did something I want to do on here. Let me look it up. I see it right there. Oh, you can't beat me now. Like this is secrets. People wouldn't tell you what the sample was back in the day, where they got their drums. They just tell you it's on
oh.
old records. You got to
Oh.
go to old records and get the
Oh.
drums. No, nothing. And then I said everything is right, but I don't mix. So then I sat down and listened to Cuzzo going through tubes and compressors and ad limiters. I said, what do you think this is? You know, I asked little questions, and he's a professional. He done read the whole book of Pro Tools.
Right.
That kind of guy, right? So my cousin, shout out to cousin Courtney Rice, cousin, insane on mixing. I wouldn't
Cause
trust that
oh,
shit to nobody. I wouldn't let nobody tap on my computer if it wasn't him. So, and he's an expert. So anything I learned, earshot, you know, ear hustling, and then I got the mix together with the beats. Then it's like I just dared to do vocals the end of last year. So I'm just now here where I know sonically for real exactly what I'm doing. This has been a whole experiment until probably 2025, the end of 2025. I really learned what to do on mixing. Now I can mix on anything and on any DAW. I know all DAWs now pretty much because I know basic EQ and gain staging.
yeah,
So and
game
minimal
staging.
effects.
Like yeah, that it don't.
That's where I'm at. Longest
And bro,
probably at.
like you, I mean, you pretty much, see, but I started messing with Logic in '06. But here's the thing, like actually I was messing with it before that, and actually, uh, when we had the studio on Little Creek, we had Logic when it was on the PC. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how long ago. I remember when Logic switched to Apple, and I couldn't get it because I ain't, Apple computers were like expensive as hell. So I finally got one, and I got Logic, and Logic was like $1,000 at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, how y'all tripping on this being $200 now? Uh, but all I was doing was running in, right? Tracking, basically. I want, one at a time, that old Triton, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? One track at a time, bro. So if I had 10 tracks, that's 10 times I got to run each track, you know what I'm saying? So, uh, and I'll never forget, man, like, I saw, cause, I saw people like making music like in a box, like, but it was like Fruity Loops, and that was kind of whack at that time, right? You know what I mean? Like if you was using something, you were using, Ableton or Cubase or something like that, right? But
Right,
not Fruity Loops. That was
right,
like bottom of the barrel then, which is crazy how it is now, right?
right.
But I'll never forget, I saw Ninth Wonder, you know what I mean? North Carolina represent, that's my dog. I saw him on the video with Beyonce and her pops, and was like, yo, I told you they make music in the computer now. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even know he had made Girl at the time. So
Mm.
that was like a discovery. And then discovering he made that in the computer, I'm like, yo. So
With that
I unpacked
swing,
that
that
Triton
Fruity
and them,
Loops.
you know what I mean? And man, I unpacked all, because I was a dude that was like, you can't get that sound, you can't get analog sound in the box, like, especially that, how the samples and
Mhm,
the ASR filters, and it was like you're not gonna get that, right?
mhm,
And I ain't gonna say you still can't, but if you know what you're doing, I mean, you can make it sound any kind of way.
mhm,
But I just remember, like, yo, I, I was like, nah, because at this point now in the box it's so much faster. So, I want to say '08, '09. I I packed all that stuff up and got a MIDI, MPC, the 61 key with the little pads. You know what I'm saying? And
alright,
that's all I had. And I rocked out from there. And I ain't, well, I came back because I got the MP now and I can rock it out hardware. The
mhm,
only reason I really do that is for the shows. You know what I'm saying? If I do a show, bring the MP. I play stuff off of that. But I mean,
okay.
other than that, I mean, Logic, man. I mean, I can do stuff twice as fast. You know what I mean? Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like I can't. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But if it went
Mhm.
down, I got the MP. You know what I mean? So
It's too easy,
yeah,
man.
that's dope, man. Your journey sounds almost identical to mine, man, with the mixing and everything. Like, cause like the last couple years, I've been on that same journey. You know what I mean?
Mm,
With mixing
mhm.
music and vocals. You know what I'm saying? And recording. You know what I'm saying? Like learning how to, you know, how to use the right compression when you're recording in, because you don't want to squash the vocals to death. You know what I mean? You want to, all you trying to do is just basically temper them off. Like, so like if, like imagine a singer singing and like, and they hit a hard note,
Right.
that compressor, all it's going to do is just basically cut the notes above that frequency where it started to get really harsh. And then you got more natural sound to work with when you start uh, doing your EQs and, you
Mhm.
know,
Yep.
saturation, whatever you're gonna do with the vocals. I have your chain, I mean, I have
Right.
your vocal chain, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. You on the
Yeah.
same mission.
Yeah, hey man, like, and that this is what I want people to understand, cause like, and I'm gonna go into a little touchy subject, right? But
Okay.
AI, right?
Yeah.
Now, our style that, I'm not gonna say you can't do it, but I've heard joints and it's like, you know what I mean? I can tell because it's not really something different. Like I can kind of tie it to a certain, you know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
certain style, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I I I think a lot of people, and that's another reason why I'm doing this is because I think producers nowadays we not. I don't think there's a certain amount of uh people think like, oh man, I can go on YouTube, or I can do this, I can do that. Not understanding that, you know, to make a great song,
Mhm.
all the components are supposed to be working together from beginning. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if, Quincy was emailing Michael Jackson the Thriller tracks, how that would have went down. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's how we work now, right? So I'm like, yo, like
Yeah.
we gotta really start.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta really start like understanding, bro. Like, because I know, like I had the privilege to see a buddy that I hadn't seen in a decade, and this dude brought music that I had made 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I was rapping and I was at the production, and it was like, wow, you know what I mean? But it was like, yo, we was all together. Like when I heard the joint, I remember where we was at and what we was doing, and that motherfucker got fucked up in the corner and he couldn't rap no more. Like I remember all that, and those that stuff go into the music, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I the spirit, your spirit go into the music. It captures a moment, right? So the more spirits that align and come together into this one session that's recorded, you know what I'm saying, and can be played back. Like I never forget what Arrested Development said. They was like, every time you play a record, you basically re-releasing the spirit that was in the record. I was like,
Yeah.
man, that's crazy. So just think about that every time you play a beat. It's like you re-releasing the spirit that you had at that moment. You know what I mean? Like
Yes. That's a
music is crucial, bro.
what you just said right there. That I seen Knox playing was joined at one of the beat displays just recently. Shout out to Knox to God. You know what I mean? With the
Shout out to Knots.
shout out
Raw.
to Knox,
Yes,
man.
sir.
The foundation right there. That's a lot of people foundation to this. Not I'm one of the listeners, the early fans of that man. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes, sir.
he was playing that Busta Rhymes again. Wow! Oh, and he builds it up with the sample, and everybody
Mm-hmm.
sitting around waiting on the sample to drop again, and the energy hit again
Yeah.
like it did at the
Boom,
beginning of the
boom,
beat.
boom, boom,
It hit
boom.
it,
Yeah, man, listen, this
everybody's like, it hit it. It's like
that joint still hit the same, man. They
it
played the joint at the the Nats celebration, kind
yeah,
of birthday and
yeah,
they was celebrating, his work, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh Man, they play it. That joint still hit the same,
The
man. It's
same,
like,
the same.
it just make you snap. Like, yo, that's crazy, man. Like that's them the type of joints that I'm talking about. Like that,
Right,
I wanna
right,
capture. Like that spirit was captured right there perfectly. You know what I
right.
mean? Now, some spirits don't need to be captured. I'll say that too. But um, I think with I'm just saying in the spirit of hip hop, man. Like
Yes.
we need more balance, and that's really what I'm saying. I feel like with the producers coming out, it's like, yo, this is another form where you ain't necessarily, I mean, you could put little stuff in it and
Mhm.
little snips and clips or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
it's not nobody like s- you know saying anything. You know what I mean? It's just all about the composition. You know what I'm saying? And that's different. And it's like it's not like because like think about like the skating rink. You know what I'm saying? See, I grew up in the skating rink, and you play more of the instrumental versions of songs than you play the ones with the words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when I saw these showcases, I was like, yo, it's like this is the time, and then, how y'all boys was freaking the beat too. And I was like, yo, like I came from, you know, hook, verse, intro, verse, hook. You know what I'm saying? Cause like I was around artists, so that's what they wanted. And even to the point where it's like, yo, that joint too busy. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of toned down, you know what I'm saying? And like when I come to these showcases, they kept saying, not enough variation. It's just repetitive. It's doing the same thing. I was like, so I had to figure it out. And I'm like, I see. It's you gotta, because it's all about the beat. The beats I was making was for people to rap on. But I
Mhm.
feel like the beats I'm making now I could rap on. I can. I don't know who
You
else could or couldn't, but I know I can. So and but see, I dealt with people that I sent them tracks and they you know what I mean. But I
Yeah.
was like, man, I could write, and I would write to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then send it back. I'm
Mhm.
still, and I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm saying like I practice what I preach. You know what I'm saying? I don't just be talking. Like if you sent me a track, bro, I promise you, I'm going at minimum I'm gonna have a 16 and a U track. Oh man, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I might, once I start snapping, then I'll start writing. But I'm telling you, like,
Yeah.
because as a producer, that's what I want. So if
Mhm.
that's what I want, then if I ask you as a producer for that, that's what I'm gonna give you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try to kill it too. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't just trying to be fast. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
tell you what I do like about there's two things that was touchy. Like I know you had asked about AI a second ago before, we got into that. And
yeah, I did.
the
I
touchy
did.
and then the touchy subject about that and recording the experience where it took you to the end of what you just said. So I'm gonna go in and say first on the AI thing, right? And how tricky this game is. A point I want to make about AI. It's a tool, just like anything else, right?
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a chat GPT-ish tool, which means or which means like kids that need to take a test now. They they could we didn't have anything we could say, "Dear Gemini, what does the answer to such and such time such and such?" and then it just spit it out. They don't even, and they just have to be able to comprehend what they're reading and ask it the right thing. We didn't have a generating,
Mm-hmm.
so now we can say, "Give me a '70s idea of funk with this much tempo," and if you know some things, you can ask it some things, and it might give you back an idea, right?
Uh-huh.
And that is using it as an inspiration or a muse, like nigga listening to a sample. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now he's actually able to say, I want this and that to go on. So not only is it a sample, it's a custom made sample to what you're thinking. That now that is
And
unstoppable.
yeah.
But the problem is when
And look, I don't know if you know.
good.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't know if you know about the sample AI. You know what I mean? And like, so when you was talking about prompting, basically they made it like way easier. Like all you do is just pick 70s ballad. Know what I mean? You just pick it. It's
Yes.
got all the select. So you just pick the joint, man.
Yeah.
My man, I think it was what's my man?
Bolo.
Man, A is it Avery? Oh, A, not Bolo, the other brother. Know what I'm saying?
I know you talking about. He's crazy
Kind
too.
of, you remind me of him a little bit. That might be who I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, he's
saying?
crazy.
But
I know you
that
talking
bro,
about.
he was like, yeah, he was like, he did a joint, man, and it was like, and then he chopped it up, and and so
What could beat
I'm
that?
like, but
What could beat
still, it
that?
was just, oh, what that I'm like, but see, then you get into this. Well, I see, man. There's a now we getting into purism. I don't know no other way to say it. Where it's like, yo, it's got to be a sample. But man, samples have hurt us as hip hop people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's
I just
get
can't stop thinking about Just Blaze, man. And like every time they play Breeze, he gets zero. Fabulous gets zero. They don't get. Fabulous probably he might get some songwriting. I would assume, right?
it
But
right in publishing. That's
Just
it.
Blaze gets no publishing on that song, man. That's probably one of his biggest joints. Like I still hear it on the radio when I'm playing the radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like tools like that, I'm like, yo, why wouldn't we want to have those? You know what I mean? Now we don't have to worry about somebody having to clear samples or go through a clearinghouse and all these other steps that, I mean, you even got track lib now. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
I don't understand why what the backlash is about AI when it's like, yo, it's no different than the MP. Because when the MP came out, it basically AI drums.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
it's it's okay. In that concept, I totally 100,000% agree. And now it's this. It's you if even if like cats be mad about sampling, let me just say this. Niggas be mad about sampling and they ain't even twist and flip a sample so greatly than better than the next man. They just looped up something or found something like the next man found it. You ain't playing the instrument. So indeed you're doing the same thing, you're just taking somebody else shit, dropping it in the 4 bar region or 2 bar or 1 bar region, and repeat somebody's segment of what they did, not even their whole work. And then you say some shit they don't even agree with, and then you like, yeah, I'm about to publish this record. You put it out, you ain't paying them niggas, you ain't even learned no part of the game, and then now you mad because AI got shit that where you ain't gotta pay and go through that. So most niggas that want all this be talking that purist shit ain't published a record, ain't had a record put out the way they got fucked over on the publishing to where they like, now I don't want to sample a nigga. I appreciate niggas that play instruments and come up with an idea. Now, if you got AI that's coming up with your idea, instead of the nigga playing the instrument and cutting out that nigga, it's cutting out dog, but it's keeping the creator able to move faster and create more as an individual. So if a Quincy Jones had this shit, if a goddamn Mozart had this shit, and they could put the whole shit together without niggas, You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I'm getting left out. If you could put the whole shit together without a bunch of people telling you, "Oh, I got my baby mama left my kids at the crib, and I can't show up to this gig because I got two other gigs." This nigga's great at music, so he 30, he in 30 bands. You know what I mean? And we people that been through that side of music understand. Well, shit, like my dad, hey, man, can you make my drums and bass before I go to the studio, so I ain't gotta have you as the drummer and the bass player come in and lay tracks and waste time in the studio because I need to get in and out because I'm paying for time. He would want the machine to do part of the music. So people that's really drop grassroots creators, they need those shortcuts. And some people, yeah, take advantage and flip and they play somebody else beat in the damn thing and get it to make your beat and then
All right, y'all. We had a little TD, little technical difficulty. You know what I mean? Uh, got cut off during that last pod, so I decided to come bring my man back, Gu Dollar. He was talking about how AI as a tool can help people basically be like a session player. You know what I'm saying? And I believe he was also speaking on kind of both sides of the fence. Yeah, it could you can bring your beat in. Somebody can take your beat and put in, and such and such. But we gonna let the we gonna let my man. I want him to finish his thoughts because he was dropping bombs, and uh, all of a sudden they stopped. I was hurt. So back to the bomb drop, sir, please.
Yeah, I believe it was like when I had got the machine and I was telling pop, my dad was telling me or asking me could I do bass lines and things like drum tracks before we go to the studio. So he get cut the
Hmm.
time out, and that's for him. That's a dream thing. So the AI being able to do that now is just like having a session player. You need to play like just for instance, to add on to that, since that day, I've talked to one of my homies that plays all the horns. He plays trombone, sax, trumpet, whatever. And he was like, one of his mentors, I forgot the name, but somebody was telling him that he was a horn player as well. And he said he'll do anything in on a keyboard but horns. So that's thing that everything could be done in the studio before my dad even went and played his horn and do the vocals is gold. He would love that. So anybody like that, that's a genius move. And you're a musician, so you really just like, hey, I got this dope ass bass player. Can you play me something like do 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 do? And then this nigga do what you said. Like it's like if I could sing that into AI and they
Right.
could put that on my track, it's still me and it's just a tool. So using it as a tool and then
Hmm.
using it as a creative person in the studio, that nigga who created the line for you, if he did, he get a credit for it. So you as a musician,
Right.
you don't have to pay niggas like that. You just pay your AI fee, like you stream or whatever. It's convenient. So it's better for niggas that's super creative to have this tool. It just is. There's no going around that. Is a person using
Right. And that's what
I'm listening.
right. That's what I was saying. Like basically this is something that you can implement that can actually save you time and save you money. And as artists, as creatives, when we trying to create something, there's a certain amount of cost with certain things. So when you can cut the cost of something that, uh, let's be honest, you don't know what this creation might do. You know what I mean? It might rise, it might levitate, it might not do anything. You know what I'm saying? But it has enough force because you decided at some point it need to come out. and so anything else that is involved in the process is just something that's a part of it. And AI brings in a different lane for people who either don't have access to session players and session singers and things of that nature, right?
Mhm.
And for people who may have that access, but when they don't have that access, they still can produce because they have an environment that gives them that same environment as if they were at a studio with session people, right?
Right.
So I think people getting a misconception that AI is a takeover tool and like, nah, you got to know something.
Yeah.
You got to know something in order to be able to utilize it properly. That's like saying give a guy a hammer and he can build a crib. Like, yeah, that's a tool to build, but think you're gonna need a little more than that, bro. Know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Yeah.
uh, yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah. I think
Hey, so, mm-hmm.
nah, I was gonna say,
No, go ahead, bro.
nah, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think the point I was making another that time too was not knocking anybody, but the more you don't know how to play things, you know what I mean, the more you'll probably lean into a tool like that because even niggas just using samples, like you're using something else already. And there's two big deals about that. The music is already great. So you got a hold of something that was already great and use a piece of it to do your rendition. So that's already AI in a way, which the older guys that play they shit,
Mm,
they was already looking at you like you taking our shit. And a lot of niggas run into
mm,
when they have to clear the sample because the people that made the song don't like your shit. They like, man, get that shit off my music.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I want to
mm.
be great, and I am great. And your friends told you that, but the old heads that know music, they like, bro, you took our shit, detuned it. It don't really sound good. You saying some bullshit on it. They make it hard to clear. They gonna charge you
Right,
high to clear it if they want to clear it, which is some niggas in music that made their money off of it. They like, I just don't want you to taint my painting, whatever they figure it is,
right,
wherever they value it. So
right.
if they wrote their own record and they have
Mm-hmm.
power to shut you down, they'll charge you high or shut you down. Like, so Juice World
Yep.
been using Sting shit and Police, which the niggas name Police and Sting. So, it might sound good, but that's morally you gotta check yourself in 100 different ways. Like, am I using some, what I mean, like some pop music that's just like we got a good tune, but I'm using the Police shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you using Sting, like you got
Yeah.
a white man music, you know what I mean? So it's so many like different things you could knock the next person for how they present and what the elements they put together to make their music or their art. So it's all
Right.
subjective. It's all subjective. And AI is here. The bad part, I would say,
Yeah.
the bad part about AI is that I heard there's 60,000 AI songs uploaded to Spotify or whatever, just to the streaming. So there's people that are
I
using
think it's more than that, but yeah.
word. It could be, you know what I'm saying? And to me, I understand what that is. That's a plot that nobody can stop. Like they started it. Whoever got the is getting it off that they did it for on purpose. So it floods the market where we would get paid. Like if there's say 100,000 new songs every day, that's 100,000 more songs than I feel need to be uploaded. But somebody's like, I'd let the AI make some music. I pay for the publishing of it. every month I pay such and such dollars so I can upload this music. And that person is gonna get more money off music than somebody overthinks their stuff and might make great ass music originally, but there's no way for him.
So
So
I wanted, because you was talking about the samples, right? And that business of clearing and you know, how you were saying it's like a form of AI. People taking the sample, right? Like I agree because it's you taking something that was already made. I was saying that about drum machines. Like if you ain't a drummer, you know what I mean. Like that's the way you make drum machines. So that's AI, in a form, right? But
yeah, it's
the
technology.
samples now, there's but now not only with Suno, but there's another joint that you can basically produce samples, you know what I mean? And it's AI, but the samples are like, crazy. Like they be sounding like if you say 70s, you know, um 70s soul, you know, R&B, ballad or whatever. It's going,
Mhm,
female singer.
mhm.
It's going to spit out a joint that, anybody I know, you included, would kill it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They be having like all the parts, like everything you be want, but like uh, it's not a popular. You know what I'm saying? It's not like because that's part of the cultural thing. It's like either finding a sample that's rare or taking something that's popular and kind of flipping it. You know what I'm saying? So like
right.
people recognize it, but then there's your part. So that's the cultural part, but I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, that's cool for when you get to a certain level, but like, well, kind of I'll say where we at, like, yo, taking a sample that's royalty free, being able to chop it up and put it out there. I mean, for us is like, there's no better way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to worry about no splits or nothing. You know what I mean? But
Right,
like, I think it's well, that's not it's AI. So there's certain people that's gonna say that's an AI sample, and but it's like, bro, what's the difference between that and me just taking a sample off YouTube and chopping it up? I'm
right,
still taking some. The differences is this thing I'm taking over here. I can take it, and they even tell you, as long as you chop it up, you can do whatever you want, sell
right,
it, stream it, whatever. So you ain't got to deal with none of that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's no different than getting splice samples or any of these other spots we go to get stuff and make music out of it. But now you actually getting, and I mean, even Splice had little song sample type joints. You know what I'm saying? I'm song starters. Like they took them
right.
joints and kill them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, man. Like we gotta start thinking more about the I mean, there's still purity and everything, but like, we still gotta understand there's certain levels to things, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
like hip hop across the board got a certain standard. You know what I mean? I don't care what genre, whatever. So, you know, what I what I embraced about like I guess the trap era, they won't sampling. They were using original sounds. You know what I mean? So now we as the sample era, now we have an ability to do the same thing they did, but do us. You know what I'm saying?
right,
But
right.
are we gonna reject well that ain't it's AI or well that
Right,
ain't Gladys Knight or that ain't that rare sample that I mean, yeah, it's not like that's going away. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna just disappear because AI samples showed up. Come on. It's
right,
adding in. Just like when samples were added into hip hop. See what I'm saying? Hip hop has always been an additive genre. It's never been just, oh, it's only no. It's always been stuff even in its inception, it was just a bunch of different cultures and styles brought together. You know what I mean? to form this thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
why would well all of a sudden is the no, that's we rejecting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
That's the
mean,
best.
Simps was like one of the main sounds in the early '80s, right? Like,
Yes,
but
yes,
so that's all I'm saying, man. Like,
yes. No,
like
I'm
look at
I'm
it
in
for its whole,
agreement.
not the piece. Yeah. Yep.
Right. I'm
Hey,
um
bruh. Uh-huh.
good.
No, I think we got a little lag here. That's what's going on. But go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you.
You
I
was gonna say
love
something.
everything you say. You
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm saying I think there's a lag because it's always a little space from when I speak and then you know
um
what I mean? Like you come in.
okay.
So I'm trying to adjust to it. Yeah.
Okay. Um I think that everything you said was 1,000%. The best quote I heard about that was hip hop is the creator of nothing but the innovator of everything. And I
Right.
think that was great because none of every element in hip hop is something that was existing already. And then they put hip hop as we do this, 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 and this in one thing, right? But a lot of the misconception, I believe, from the culture is that it all started in one thing. And it's not like people start doing,
Right.
there's no start of graffiti art at the same time as DJing, at the same time rap started, at the same time b-boying and breaking. It's like no,
Right.
they
Right.
all they all were in development and in that city in New York City at the same time. But all the elements existed in other places at the same time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
um a lot of rap come from, like Southern artists, really, to keep it real. R&B and soul and comedy even. It was comedic rap, Pygmy Markham, comedic,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But that's rap. And it was on Ed Sullivan show before everybody started rap. He was already rapping on Ed Sullivan show
Right.
and he moved to the Bronx. So punchlines, comedic punchlines in the rap might have been caught an influence off one of the noted forefathers of this called Pygmy Markham, who's from Little Haiti, Durham, North Carolina. You know what I mean? So is that's what I mean. Well,
Yeah.
of course, part of my
There you
argument, like
go.
you're supposed to be dope at rap, no matter where you from. Like, and that's the people that are dope at rap are just dope from wherever they from, and that's that. There's no, oh, we supposed to be dope because we from New York. Like, nah, that's dope to have that thought. That's cool, but I see a lot of the bias. Like, who still love New York rap? Like, yeah, we know it's a business. It came from there. Don't expect somebody not to be nice from Milwaukee or even Ohio, or somewhere,
Yeah.
somewhere in Montana,
I
somewhere.
mean,
All from,
Belgium. Yeah.
there's a nigga that can rhyme every pocket of existence. There's somebody that can make crazy soul music in every pocket of existence. Across the seas and the Middle East, there's somebody flipping a centaur into some shit that you would want to rhyme to, and in the same soul pocket. And somebody in Africa is playing the same
Mm-hmm.
type of drums we like in our hip hop, and this nigga's an alien over there or in his tribe or something. And,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that music is so much of a universal thing. Now, does it come out of this kind of melanin mostly? Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll say that. Like, some but there's white people that tune in and catch the right signal too. So I just know creativity is something that can't be harnessed, but people want to, market their area in the way that it is. We the best over here, and that it's a marketing thing, or East Coast rapping, West Coast rapping, So
Yeah, it's a
I think,
purity.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just,
like a purity standard. Yeah,
yeah,
purists,
between
you know what I
all of us
mean? Like
that,
they gotta keep it right,
yeah,
and it's a
we
form
hear
of
it,
gatekeeping. Like,
yeah,
like I said it. hmm Yeah, it
yeah,
is a form of gatekeeping. Like you trying to keep, and I totally get it, but like that's I'm just like it's not hip hop to me. You know what I mean? That's not
right,
how hip hop got to the levels it got. You know what I mean? Like wasn't
yeah,
people gatekeeping, but this just
yeah,
me. So, hey, bro, real quick,
yeah,
cause I wanna you hitting some joints. We gonna have to spin the block. Like this ain't the first, and what I mean, this ain't gonna be the last one. You know what I mean?
get it.
But I have to ask you, with all the experience you have, um, what would you tell a young producer? Somebody might just got a NBC sample or Fruity Loops, you know what I mean? Or not even necessarily young, just a new producer, you know what I'm saying? Uh, like what, how should they approach, music production in 2026?
2026 music production from a young guy standpoint, or anybody getting it started. Um, I would say make songs, make musical journeys. When you crafting, um, I don't know what everybody likes, so that's if you're honest about that, you know, I think that you come from the right place. Like you don't know what
Mm,
people like. You just know what you like. And
mm,
don't be
mm,
monotonous. Unless that's you're around a songwriter that's what they want. But definitely get into song making, and production should be for my purpose was to make songs that get out, and I think it can live forever from there. So just make songs that make music to make songs. That's the best
mm.
creative point I can
That's a
think of.
dinger.
You know,
Hey,
that's where
you
I'm
get
at.
the stamp, bro. Bah, 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 bah. That's a great one right there. Make music to make songs. Like don't just think of something from because as creatives, you got to understand. Like we start from nothing. You know what I mean? Like there's a painter is an
That's me.
empty canvas. You know what I mean? A producer is silence. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we
Yeah,
build off of, and we take it from one thing to the next. But you got to understand, like when you finish, that's the start of something else. So you have to have that process to know, hey, if I send this to such and such, they can finish and make it into a song. Because ultimately, that's the goal as a producer is to make something that becomes a song, man. Like we can make beats all day and do showcases and it's beautiful, right? But it ain't until me working in the studio, I was always uh taught like, hey, the vocals are the greatest instrument on a song. You know what I'm saying? So they should be at the top, like, far as mixing, right? Like they should be at the top because that's the most important instrument. You cut frequencies out of other instruments before the vocals because they got to sit right. So understand, like, yeah, you doing all these things, you making all these sounds, you creating or whatever, but you always keep in mind, like, hey, it's gonna be a vocal up here. And add in, you got AI that can, if you don't have that access or ability, you got AI to come in and make it a song for you to present or, you know, generate your idea. So beautiful. Hey man, great advice, man. I really appreciate you. We're gonna have to spin the block, definitely. Um, hey, let them know what you're doing, man. Let them know what you've been up to before we go out of here.
Um, it's some documentary thing I'm doing, but that's all I can say about it for right now. It's gonna be that's fucked up, right? But it's so in development.
Nah, I ain't say, hey,
I'm a
you
part
gave
of
a,
it.
you might have. I mean, I got a little leak. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
gotta take what I can get. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you gave
It's
up
all.
that. You couldn't have said
I'm a,
nothing, so I ain't mad.
yeah. All I can tell you is I'm doing some music for it, and I'm pretty much the premier musician for the document, and it's some collective shit. And it's bigger than what That's why the part of it that's corporate or executive. I know I glitched a little bit, but
Hey, well, maybe we can come back. Well, maybe we can come back and talk about that after it's released, and then we have this to go back to. Hey yo, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming out, bro. You know what I'm saying? We gonna definitely spin the block. You know what I'm saying? Like my people's telling me to go out. Bah, 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 bah. Peace.
bye.